everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi.
And Nick, what have we got going on this day in history?
Yeah, so two interesting things. One, in 1932, the Lindbergh baby was kidnapped.
No. Okay.
And then, so on this day in 1973, Pink Floyd released their album Dark Side of the Moon.
Interesting.
hmm
Okay.
And I did not know. It also says proceeds from this album helped fund the film Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's interesting. I love Monty Python and I've seen a couple of the Monty Python movies. I don't think I've seen like all of them,
Yeah,
but
there's several from that
mhm.
troupe, whatever you call them, comedy
Yeah.
troupe, yeah, whatever. Um, the I had I found a couple too that were different because I
Ooh.
wanted to see what you had too. So in 1872, Yellowstone became the nation's. Sorry, this says the world's first national park.
Hmm.
So Yellowstone became the world's first national park in 1872, um, and in 1954, the Castle Bravo test
hmm
in the Pacific accidentally became the most powerful nuclear device ever detonated by the U.S.
Oh, accidentally. That's
Yeah,
nice.
accidentally, yes.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
U.S., accidental, and nuclear all in the same
Yep,
sentence.
yep, yep, yep.
Sounds about right.
Yep, uh-huh. Yeah, so, um, this week, we're talking about Princess Diana.
hmm
Um, because if you were watching last week when we talked about conspiracy
hmm
theories around Area 51, Nick got all excited about conspiracy theories around Princess Diana. Um,
Yes, because
because I
you
hadn't
had never
really
heard any of
heard
these.
about the
Yeah.
conspiracy theories about Princess Diana. Like, I know, I kind of, like, I guess I'd kind of, like, not, I haven't really heard many of them. I've, like,
hmm
heard a little bit, but not that much into it. Um,
I
but,
guess, and I just didn't realize there were people in the world that didn't. But I guess this was just like one of my Roman empires,
yeah.
that we talked about.
Mm-mm.
I just always assumed everyone knew there were like multiple conspiracies around it.
Mm-mm.
Because I feel like anytime I see anything about Princess Diana, see a TikTok reel, see an Instagram, or not TikTok reel, I see an Instagram reel, or someone mentions it, it's always about a conspiracy, which in part, like, I don't want to take away from her life,
Mm-hmm.
and every time I see things about her and or people talk about her, it is mostly about the conspiracies around her death. But um so I almost feel bad like kind of talking about some of these, but I don't know. There's some weird things that I'll walk you through for sure. Yeah.
Okay. For anybody who is not, I don't know,
Human?
into, well, I'm not going to say not human, because I would say there's a good number of people who are younger who don't know who Princess Diana was.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, she died in the 90s. Like,
I
I
mean,
would say
I'm
there's a,
Gen Z and everyone I know knows who she is, but I don't know. Maybe there are people younger than me than that don't know.
yeah, I mean, okay, so anyway, Princess Diana, if you're not aware, was the first wife of now King Charles,
Yeah.
and it is the mother to Prince William and Prince Henry, who are the
Harry.
second Prince Harry. Yes, Prince William, Prince Harry, who are now the second and what is Harry now, like the fourth in line to the throne or something after William's kids. Well, I don't know if he's actually in line to the
Yeah.
throne anymore at all after he like left everything. But
I don't
anyway,
know.
I don't know how all that
I
works.
think that definitely
But
gets pushed back because you have the heir and the spare, and then when the heir has kids, they become the next in
yeah,
line.
yeah.
I don't
So
know what happens to the spare.
uh, I think he moves down after William's kids is what I think
Mm.
happens. So like it would be William's kids and then Harry. But anyway, I don't know how all that works. That's for somebody else to talk about. Um, so she was born into British nobility. Anyway, had her family had close ties to the royal family. Um, she was born in 1961. Uh, she worked as a nursery teacher's assistant when she became engaged to to then Prince Charles. Um, they got married in when did they get married? Why don't I have that on here?
The
Um,
80s.
I think it was in the 80s. Um, they had compatibility issues and ended up with they had one of them had an affair, both of them had an affair. I don't really know. There was
Hmm.
extramarital problems. Um, they ended up separated in 1992. That their affairs and everything became like a huge public issue because of the
Hmm.
tabloids in Britain and which are crazy. And they ended up
Yeah.
getting divorced in 1996, and she died in uh, a car crash in Paris in 1997. So just a year after they got divorced. Um, and that's where most of the conspiracy theories I think come in is the car crash is the her death,
Yeah.
right? Like she was a big philanthropist. She was very much in the spotlight,
Hmm.
which I don't believe a lot of the family I don't think liked. The
Yeah, she
people
was
loved her. People
definitely
loved
she was the
like
people's
she was the
princess
people's
for
princess.
sure.
Like people loved
Mhm.
Princess Diana.
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't
Yeah.
think I think there was
I
some
mean, she even
controversy with
has an interview where she was asked, I think they were still married at this point, or maybe separated but not divorced yet. But she was asked, "Do you think you'll ever be queen someday?" And she basically said no, and then elaborated because there's a rule book, and I think I'm a non-starter for that, was basically what she said. So yeah. And then so now that also plays into the conspiracies. People were like, she was already talking like that before she died.
hmm
But yeah, she was definitely a different type of royal,
Yeah,
quote unquote.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so Nick, I
Hmm.
don't know these conspiracies. We talked about this. We talked about this a little
Yeah.
bit last week when we were talking about
Hmm.
other conspiracies. So what are they? Because I've really never
Yeah.
heard any of these.
So I'll start with the official and then we'll talk about there's lots of different conspiracies.
hmm
And to clarify, I do not believe all these, but we're gonna walk through them all.
Do you believe any of them? You just said all of them. That makes it sound like you believe some
Um,
of them.
I think some of them are more plausible than others.
Okay.
I will never know for sure, so I'm not going to say 100% that I believe any of them. Um, I do think she knew or had this inkling before she passed away that she was going to be killed. There were weird. We'll walk through it. I think she knew at some point she wasn't going to live a long life,
Hmm.
which makes me give more plausibility to one or two of these, and then some of them are just like okay. But
Interesting. Okay.
so the official reports,
hmm
there was both a French and British
Investigation. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, thank you, conducted, and both of them concluded drunk driver. The driver, his blood alcohol was like 1.76 or something in the legal limits, like zero point 0.5. Like it was crazy high. 1.74 in the legal limits, zero point 0.5.
Okay.
Massively high.
hmm
Um, so the official report said drunk driver lost control of the limousine, and Di and her boyfriend at the time, Dodie, were in the back seat, no seat belts. So
Pretty common
their
in a limousine.
reports say, yeah, with seatbelts on, it's likely that they could have survived. They didn't have seatbelts on. They both passed away, both her
Okay.
and her boyfriend at the time. Um, so those were the official reports. Um, where people have issues with the official reports, I'll go through some of those and then kind of the conspiracy things behind them. So I'll start with the driver. So massively over the legal limit, but witnesses that saw him, because obviously they were followed. There were a lot of people that saw them getting into the limo, driving. They were chased by paparazzi, hence
Mm-hmm.
why people think, Harry is so protective over Meghan about paparazzi and
Mm-hmm.
things. There were lots of witnesses, and witnesses say that he was walking perfectly normal, no stumbling, you know, opened the door, they got in the limit, like he drove, like witnesses don't think that he appeared to be at what they said 1.74,
Yeah.
which
It's
is
super
like
drunk.
3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, like stupid drunk. You'd be like falling over on the curb at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, and CCTV shows that too. Like he looks like he's walking normal,
Mm-hmm.
acting normal, not visibly drunk. You'd have to be like a lifetime alcoholic to pull off that. And maybe he was, you never know. But the bar that he was at before said he only had 2 drinks.
Okay.
Were they extremely strong drinks? I don't know. So he was also off duty, and then urgently called in because the original limo driver had food poisoning. So there were a lot of inconsistencies with why he was driving.
Mm-hmm.
People are like skeeved out by that,
Okay.
like food poisoning. Okay. Um, Food poisoning is obviously a normal thing,
Yeah.
but people are like, it's a setup. It's,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, so not only is it weird why he was driving, but also he was driving with a 1.74 blood alcohol and appeared normal. Okay, whatever. So that's the first weird thing. Second weird thing with like the situation itself, Diana's sister said that she was 100% a seatbelt wearer, avid seatbelt wearer, very for safety,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Now, it's a limo. I don't know. Maybe they had a night out, weren't buckled up. Who knows? Like, people don't buckle up, even if you're an avid
Yeah.
safety or no, a person that normally buckles up. But her sister did an interview where she was like, no, she buckled up all the time. Don't know. So there's debate over whether she was in a seatbelt and hers was faulty. I think one of the reports said that her seatbelt was like slightly faulty or something. And then Doty's worked perfectly fine, but he didn't have it on, and that was confirmed. So there is debate over the seatbelts.
Yeah. That.
And like
Mm,
the limousine, it said, I'm not gonna be able,
mm,
I have so many notes on this, I'm not gonna be able to find it. But they said that the limousine had been, they go through checks, what's the word for it? Inspections, and
yeah.
was fine.
Yeah. The
So,
the conspiracy about like her seatbelt not working and his being fine. That
mhm,
that seems like a far stretch to me because how are you gonna
yeah,
they're in a limousine, how are you gonna know which seat she's gonna sit in or which seatbelt
yeah,
she's gonna use? There's It's a
yeah. Like you're
limousine, there
not gonna
could be
know
like 5 or 6
100%.
seats that she could sit in, like you're not gonna know where she's
Mm-hmm.
gonna sit or which one she's gonna use. So that seems like a
Yeah,
far that so far that seems like the farthest, like that seems like a
yeah,
far stretch to me. The drunkenness, I mean, yes, the drunkenness is a weird thing,
yeah.
and especially if he's acting fine, but like that's just
Mm-hmm.
like a video, like a inconsistency. the
Yeah.
the trying to That's just an inconsistency in a story. The trying to
Mm-hmm.
stretch of like, oh well, they said her seatbelt was faulty and this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't
And
make it,
it's
that just doesn't
debated.
make any
So,
sense, like
yeah.
that doesn't make
And
any sense.
you could wear your seatbelt 99% of the time, and this is the 1% that you don't.
Yeah.
It just, things happen.
And
Oh, I
again,
forgot
a
one
lot
more
of people
thing with
don't wear a
the,
seatbelt in a limo. It's a limo, like
yeah, exactly. Granted, they were in a high speed chase outrunning paparazzi. You'd
Yeah.
think they would have him on, but you never know. So, um, one other thing about the driver I forgot to mention, he did have, um, according to a French investigation, is what this note says, he did have many deposits right under the $10,000 reporting threshold, totaling 170,000 in his bank account. So they
That's weird.
think that lends me into one of the conspiracy theories is MI6 or this SIS, the British secret whatever. Um, they think people think he was a hired operative. Of course, the British inquiry says no comment on that specific thing. So,
Of course it is.
um, another reason why people think it was a setup by either the British Secret Service or the royal family or both. So, Diana told her bodyguard that same day, earlier in the day, in the afternoon, something feels different today. They're watching me differently. So she was notoriously a little more paranoid in the years of the separation, the divorce, and everything because they were scrutinized, chased by paparazzi all the time. Like, you're in the royal family. She was naturally paranoid, but um, I guess there were a lot of inconsistencies in her day, and she told her bodyguard something feels different. So, also one of her like backup security team had like visa issues, just a lot of inconsistencies with the day. So that makes people think that it was this MI6 or Secret Service or whatever setup. But as to the whys behind that, that's where I get a little fuzzier. Like, okay, it was a setup, but why?
Yeah.
So people think that it's because she was the people's princess, didn't play by the rule book. You know, she wasn't the normal royal.
Yeah,
They wanted Camilla,
what?
who would play by the book. Like,
Yeah, but what is that?
but it's
But killing her just makes people love her more. Like that's kind of that
exactly,
martyr
it made her
thing.
a
Like
martyr.
it makes her a
Mm-hmm.
martyr,
Oh, it
and
for sure made her a martyr. Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm like, I don't know. Yes, that's one of the more plausible ones to me. Because there are so many inconsistencies and weird things. The bank deposits right under the reporting limits. I mean, you and I saw that.
yeah,
The blood alcohol content not being inconsistent with witness reports. Like, okay. And then her own feelings. And there was even a letter that came out in the press later, the Burrow letter. So apparently, Diana wrote to her butler, and I don't know. I couldn't find, people went back and forth on if this letter was ever deemed valid or if it was just put out into the media, like to cause
yeah,
speculation. But supposedly on October 1996, Diana wrote to her butler, "My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure, serious head injury." But he supposedly kept this quiet until 2003 when he testified or something when it came out. So when he came out with this, um, basically the royal family's response was just that it was a heightened time. She was paranoid. There was a lot going on at the time,
yeah,
and no comment beyond that.
yeah.
So that to me, out of all of these, if it was a setup, that makes the most sense to me, but it still doesn't 100% make sense.
No, because it doesn't help anything. Like
Yeah, exactly.
there's no real
Hmm.
there's no real motive. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't
It's a fuzzy motive unless there's something
do.
that we don't know,
Yeah,
which
which is
there's a lot
possible.
of things that we don't
Yeah,
know
there's
about
possible,
royal
but
families, secret service, governments.
yeah,
Yeah.
but there doesn't seem to be a motive
Yeah.
that makes any sense. Like
So, one of the motives that the father of her boyfriend Dodi, so Dodi is the nickname for Ahmad Eldin Fayed. So, Muslim Egyptian son of a businessman. He was a filmmaker, her boyfriend at the time. When they both passed away, his father, the Egyptian businessman, very prominent in Egypt, did not help anything. He was in the media constantly saying that it was either a setup because he said a couple different things. He said it was a setup because she was secretly pregnant and the royal family didn't want that to happen. He also said that the royal family didn't want her to be married to a Muslim, and that they were reportedly secretly engaged. So this father was in the press a lot, and a lot of what he has said has been refuted.
Yeah.
The
Of course.
pregnancy thing,
Yeah.
there was no. They tested her HCG. Obviously, they did an autopsy and things,
Yeah.
which, of course, people are like, well, it was faked. Um, who knows? But whatever it was, they didn't find anything.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he paid some of his staff members of one of his villas to say that they came to visit, which they did go visit this villa together. But he paid staff members to say that they were choosing nursery rooms, themes, things like that,
Mm.
which the staff members have come out to say that they were paid by him
Mm.
to say that. So
So he's also making stuff up.
he was a grieving
Yeah.
father.
Yeah.
This was his eldest son. Who knows what's true or what's not? But that was I don't want to say the second most prominent conspiracy theory. It was one of the biggest ones at the time because
Yeah.
he was in the media constantly as soon as this happened.
Hmm.
A couple other weird little conspiracy theories and just weird things. Um, so apparently there was like some British arms dealers, government connections with like contracts for landmines and British arms and things like that, and that she had knowledge of these secret government contracts, was carrying documents with her that were never found.
Hmm.
And also both her safe and Dodie's safe were emptied
Hmm.
when police arrived. So that's a weaker one. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Who knows if she had knowledge of these or not. I don't know why she would, but um so that was another one. There was also inconsistency with the actual like time that they got to the hospital. The crash was at 12:23 a.m. That's known because there were paparazzi photos, everything
Mm-hmm.
like that. Um, co- Coincidentally, none of the 14 CCTV cameras in this tunnel were working, which is odd to me.
Yeah.
But we know when the crash happened, 12:23 a.m. She did not reach the hospital 4 miles away until 2:06 a.m. So that's an hour and a half,
It's a long time.
a little over. Is a long time. Um, so granted, 4 miles in Paris is different than 4 miles here,
But it
but
shouldn't be at
still,
12 a.m.
yeah. So in the British report, they said that the reason for this inconsistency was they had to pull over, stabilize her blood pressure, stabilize her, that they couldn't do while they were driving. I don't know. The French report just said that's standard. So I don't know,
I
but
mean, I will say that a lot of times when they're, I work in television, I work in news.
mhm,
I do know that a lot of times when there is a crash, that
yeah,
it can take a while for them to, one, get an emergency crew to the scene to start with,
yeah,
get somebody out of the car, get them
yeah,
stable enough to move them, and then actually get them to where
exactly.
they're
And
going.
if she
So
wasn't stable enough to move,
yeah, it can take a little while
plausible.
sometimes. That is
Hmm.
true. That does
But
seem
it
like
is still a
that is
long
still a
time.
long time to get her 4 mile. Like 4 miles is
Yeah,
not that far, and if you're in that bad a
yeah,
shape, that is a long time for that short of a distance. But
yeah. And it's reported that the royal family and her sons were told that she was dead before she even reached the hospital. So who knows? And maybe that's true because they already knew in the ambulance she was dead, and they told the royal family. Who knows? But
yeah,
um, everyone says, well, JFK reached the hospital in 8 minutes. Well,
Well, JFK didn't.
that's
They didn't wait for an ambulance. They just took the limo and just went
exactly,
straight there. So
exactly. So I'm like,
that was the
totally
Secret Service just
different.
stepping on the gas and just driving
Yeah,
straight there.
exactly. Totally different scenario.
Yeah.
Also, that's Texas versus Paris, France.
Yeah.
So,
And again, that was the
um,
Secret Service. That was the Secret Service agent hearing a gunshot and just flooring it from where he was. Like that's an
yeah,
entirely different situation. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
yeah.
So, um, other weird things, people say that there are too many similar accidents with royal family members, or people connected to the royal family. So in 1943, the Duke of Kent died in a plane crash. 1968, Princess Marina died of a brain hemorrhage. 1972, Duke of Windsor throat cancer. But like, two of those are normal
How are
deaths.
those similar?
Yeah,
I don't know how those are
yeah.
similar.
The plane
Like,
crash is the only one
but I don't even
that's
know.
different. But they said the common factors were every single one of them knew multiple secrets of things going on in the royal family.
Everybody in the
But the
royal family knows secrets
common,
of things going on in the royal family. Like, you're in the
yeah,
royal family, of
they
course you know
say the
secrets.
common thread, yeah, I know, everyone, exactly. But they
If
say
you're
the
not
common
in the
thread is
royal
that
family,
in
you know
each of
secrets of the royal
those,
family because it's the royal family.
yeah,
Like,
exactly, exactly. But they say the common thread in each of those is that the cameras all failed for each of those incidents. But like
I mean,
1943, what camera is going to catch a plane crash in 1943?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. So that one's a stretch for me, but um,
And also,
one other little
what
weird
camera's
thing.
recording for throat cancer? Too.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what are you
So
talking
that
about?
one's
Cameras
just
failed. Like, there's only
that
one
one's
other
just kind of
instance.
out
There's
there.
only one other instance where you would have a camera, and it was in the 40s. Which what? Where do you have a camera
Yeah,
anyway? Like, that's
exactly.
ridiculous.
So there are definitely some weird ones.
Yeah, that's
Um,
a little far
there are
fetched.
inconsistencies. 14 witnesses saw a white Fiat um, crash into the car or sideswipe the limo. And there were white paint traces confirmed in the
Okay.
reports. The police investigation, they checked 4,000 Fiat Unos. Driver was never found. Car never located. But there was a paparazzi named James Andonson who owned a white Fiat Uno, who, this is in quotes, committed suicide in 2000. So,
Hmm.
14 witnesses saw this car. There was a paparazzi that had that car. He's no longer alive. It was never part of the investigation.
That's
So
three
that
years
is
after. That's
weird.
3 years after, though. That's a long time to
Yeah.
wait to.
Mm-hmm. So the last like
Hmm.
inconsistency, and then I'll go through one other weird conspiracy theory. Um, there was a missing gold bracelet. So she was given a gift from Dodie that was a gold bracelet worth around $200,000. Um, the hospital doesn't have it. Mortuary doesn't have it. Funeral prep doesn't have it. Wasn't at the crime scene, but it was on her. So, did someone steal it? Who knows? That's not really a
Yeah, that
conspiracy.
could have
That's
just been
just
lost.
a
That could have just been lost in the car somewhere in the wreckage. But
yeah. So, um, okay, so that's pretty much all the inconsistencies, I think. So the two prevailing conspiracy theories were the driver and the Secret Service. It was
mm-hmm.
a setup.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dodie's father perpetuated, it's a religious pregnancy. There was a couple things that he said were the
Yeah.
reasons. Um, but so the last weird one I have for you came out very recently. I've been seeing reels about this constantly.
Okay.
Can you guess why? What is going on in the world right now? Files that everyone is reading.
The Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
she was connected to Epstein somehow.
Yes. Supposedly.
Okay.
So a meeting between the two of them has never been photographed, but both Jelaine and Jeffrey Epstein
Mm-hmm.
talked about her constantly. Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump had a bet in the 90s of who could, get close to her more because they were both obsessed with like being close to royal families and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey Epstein had newspaper clippings of her, the picture of her in her revenge dress, like a lot of stuff at his house or whatever, villa, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Um, Ghislaine, I don't know how
Ghislaine.
to
I think
actually
it's
pronounce her
Ghislaine is
name.
what I usually hear is Ghislaine, but
Ghislaine. So she said, this was just last year. She said she would never say anything to smear her name, but she did know that they were set up on a date, Di and Epstein, and that they had met at least once or twice. So,
hmm.
but she said she doesn't have any
Details.
photos or anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, or details. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so that has been the conspiracy theory because the files were just released that showed that Epstein had her revenge dress, newspaper clippings, conversations back and forth with people about his bets with Trump. Like, so many, like, he was
Okay.
obsessed with her.
Okay, but just we're
So
gonna
here's
go.
the
We'll
why.
go off on a tangent. Okay, go ahead, and then I'll go off on a tangent.
Oh, I
Go
was
ahead.
just going to say it's one thing for just someone to be obsessed with a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
People say the why of why it even matters that they were connected is that after meeting him a couple times, she then became aware of what was
Okay.
going on at the island. And
Okay.
so then it kind of lends into it was a plot to have her killed.
Got it.
So
So,
that's the why.
so,
But what
so,
were you going to
so
say?
the claim is that this last one wasn't the royal family; it was Epstein that had her killed.
Correct.
Got it.
Somehow Epstein, maybe the royal family, but definitely the Secret Service or whatever, like it goes back to the MI6 or SIS setup one.
Oh, okay.
Like, but that he was the why and not the royal family wanted her dead was the why.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, tying Epstein into the royal to getting Epstein to make the royal family make that decision is a big stretch to me
Yeah.
because I don't think that I think that's a big stretch. Saying that
Yeah.
Epstein wanted to have it done might is more plausible. I feel like because
Hmm.
you know yeah if she would have found out what was going on I can understand that makes sense
Yeah.
because that a terrible human being right there, but
Yeah.
I don't yeah, I was. Never mind, because my tangent had more to do with like 97 is when she died.
Yeah.
We didn't. None of this even started to come out about Epstein until when was he first arrested? 2003 or something like that. I think
Yeah.
when he
It
was
was the early
first
2000s.
arrested
So,
and
I mean, it's still
charged.
pretty close. It's only a
Yeah,
couple years
well,
apart.
that's 6 years. Like that's half a
Hmm.
decade, but that's when he was first arrested and charged. Um,
Exactly.
and that's
Not
when it
necessarily when things
first
first started
no,
happening.
not saying
Yeah.
that, but that's when it first became public. Well, that's when
Hmm.
the public first learned about it,
Yeah.
um, because that's when he was first
Oh,
arrested and charged.
and one of her bridesmaids, sorry, I forgot about this. This was a newer thing too. One of her bridesmaids, the great granddaughter of who was the British guy during World War II, Churchill, or
Mm,
one, whatever, I
yeah,
don't know,
Churchill was
Churchill.
the
Hmm.
prime minister during World War
So
Two.
great granddaughter of Churchill was a bridesmaid for her, and she had been to the island. She did an interview saying it was just to view art. Like I never knew anything that was going on there. I feel so sorry for the victims, blah blah. So she was not like part of anything,
Yeah.
but people are like going wild with this right now because of how popular this is in the
Hmm.
world right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of connections, but not necessarily connections, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Um, I I mean, yes, like you said, there's a lot of connections. There's a lot of
Hmm.
um, there's a lot of coincidence, but
There
I
is.
don't
There's a
know
lot of
that
weird
I
things.
don't know that any of it is
I think
true.
that's true
Like,
of a lot of celebrity deaths. I mean, people say that Michael Jackson was killed because he knew Epstein. Marilyn Monroe. There's like so many conspiracy theories around. I think that with any
yeah, but
celebrity death that is deemed tragic, there's always going to be
But you start going
things
back
said.
and like picking apart everything like that, you can always find things. Like, especially
Yeah.
when you go back, well, Princess Diana's been dead now for 20 years almost. Like, well, actually, it's been almost 30 years now.
30.
You go
Yeah.
back and start looking at, you can start picking apart things and like tying things together that, I mean, yeah, you have 30 years that you can start looking into and start tying things together. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but we have no idea. Like,
And we're never gonna know.
no.
And that's the thing with conspiracy theories. I mean,
Yeah.
just like when we had Carson Nathan on Area 51, Roswell, that was all 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Everybody's dead.
or 60 years ago or whatever. Yeah. So we're never gonna know for sure. There's always gonna be theories out there. It's just because she was a celebrity that died tragically and young, relatively young, was beloved by the people, and then now this definitely made her a martyr. There's always going to be, you know,
Yeah.
conspiracy theories, just like there is for Michael Jackson, Marilyn Monroe. I mean, there's so many. That one Hollywood actress that died in the plane crash, like in the mountain. There's so many.
Yeah.
I think it's just people. We've talked about this before. When we don't know why or can't reason why something would happen,
People want
your
to
mind fills in the
they
blanks.
want to, yeah, they want a reason. People want a reason. So
Yeah.
they fill
Exactly.
in. They fill
That's
in
just
the,
human nature.
exactly.
But now you know
Yeah.
all the
Now I know the lore.
conspiracy theories. Well, not all of them.
conspiracy
There's
theories.
some other random
Oh, I'm
ones
sure there's
too,
other
but
random.
those
I
are
know
the
the big
main
ones.
number
I know the
ones.
big ones now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I think that's time means it's time for facts, right, Nick? Do you have anything else?
Yeah. No?
No. Okay. Do you want to go first, or you want me to?
You can go first.
Okay. I have a fact or a couple facts about the royal family in general.
Okay.
So, first off, did you know I think this is ridiculous, and I'd heard this before, but the royal family, the monarch, technically owns all unmarked swans in the UK if they're in public waters.
Oh, I did not know that.
Which is just kind of random. Like, why? Why are all swans just part of the, like, just owned by the royal family? That doesn't make any sense. What? That doesn't make any sense. And also, they, part of their, like, tradition is they don't eat shellfish if they're on, while traveling to avoid getting food poisoning.
I mean, that makes sense. I also do that.
But that's
not because
very
I'm the royal family.
Like, you can get food poisoning from just about anything. Why would you just choose shellfish? It's very specific.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's
That's
your
true.
fact for this week?
Okay, so I have a couple little ones about Princess Di. So she was the first royal bride to have a paying job. So when she married Prince Charles in 1981, she was the first ever royal bride to have a paying job.
Okay.
Which makes sense, you know, when you think about the history of the royal family.
Yeah.
She became Lady Diana when her father inherited the title. So her father inherited the title of Earl Spencer in 1975, which is what made her Lady Di.
Okay.
So she was young at that time. And then the last one I have is she wanted to be a ballerina and studied ballet.
I saw that.
Had dance in her soul, according to one of her teachers, but was too tall, reportedly.
Yeah, because I think she's taller than Charles. If I remember correctly, there's pictures of her where she's
pretty tall.
She's taller than Charles, which is kind of funny. So,
Yeah.
But I think that's it for this week, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. If you enjoyed this, let us know. If you didn't, then give us something else to talk about.
I certainly did.
Yeah.
This was a fun one for me.
Nick enjoyed this. I think it's interesting because I'd never heard a lot of this stuff before. Yeah, and it's just interesting. So it's always conspiracy theories are fun, even though I don't believe most of them. They're still fun to talk about
Agreed.
and think about and stuff like that. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.